What's the smell? You spray, huh? You know, the one I sneezed just now, I thought someone say, think of me. Okay, so I think there are sample here, which is, I believe, should have some information for us to play with lah. So if you select our drawing that I give to you all, I think data might not be fully integrated. Okay, so this step plenum level, we done that before, right? So this one should not be a problem for you all. Next, you got to assign or configure the information. So from this, if you guys are looking at I move this away first. So if you're looking at this, excuse me, my nose kind of blocked already. Let's say based on this drawing here, all right? So it's an ARCHI file, right? ARCHI file, so where can I find this information here? It says not plenum level. This one is supposed to create the data, which is no, this is a plenum level. I don't want this. I think plenum level, we know that. Space, done that already. You see this? Is creating a zone. So it's just how going to be connected. Zone so far mainly for what? Central aircon, right? So when you press this button, this particular zone will be a air supply comes in. So zoning, where can I get a command zone? Analyze. Right? So zone is here. So actually quite straightforward. You can define a zone and you can just click the component, they automatically link. But first thing first, you need to have space. All right. So let's give you a try here in our drawing here. Okay. Now I'm going to, is there a space here in our drawing? I didn't create space, but because that time we only do drawing. Correct. So I didn't create a space. Okay, give me a minute. Let me drag this thing out. Okay. Let me see. Show crop. Maybe not for this. I do the one with the second story one, so at least we have something similar. So I'm going to duplicate this. Right click, duplicate with detailing. So I'm going to rename this mechanical here. I will rename this as, I call it space. So space might not be, can be mechanical. It can be for electrical also. So I call it as a space. Then not mechanical plan. I'm going to remove this. None. So I can change this to sub-discipline called space. So you can plan it. All right. Don't no need to title to this. Yeah. So from here. Here we have a space, but the time I did immediately in there. All right, on there, I believe, right? So what is the data here on the space? Important thing is to plenum. Now, for those that if you never create the plenum level, maybe another one is here. All right. If I'm going to tag the space, you notice that is second story. There is no upper limit because this area does not come with a plenum unless you want to create a plenum. Did we create or not? I think we did.
Yeah, he's right.
Has all. Okay. I thought we don't have. So if have, that would be good. Then you just select level 2 then this banner, then this one is supposed to be 0. Remember, because there's no further offset. All right, then you just tag. So that means actually a lot of spaces you can tag. For instance, your second floor, I think everywhere there's ceiling. So this is a lounge. I think lounge also have that. Toilet, I don't think we need that. Yeah. So yeah, maybe this is the copier, whatever. Okay, leave it lah. Don't really care much already. So library, what is this? Try to do some changes on the name. This one space is called instruction. Means lecture room lah. Okay. 220. No, it's 218. This one here, space here is actually allowed, so it's 212. You know how they do the room naming? Why this guy 212? And if you go to first story, it says 112 kind of thing. Any
Because
idea?
first story, then second story. Is it?
Yeah, correct. Because the first digit is telling you the level. So if it's third floor, it can be 312. You are right. This one
Then second.
here is a computer lab. Number 209. Okay, and so on and so on. Because later you don't give a name, they'll give you an unknown space, so it's not so nice. So you take a few to give you a try. 208. Okay, so I have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And maybe you can classify this as a zone if you want. Okay, so what it says after that, edit zone. So select lah. See now, this is belongs to one zone. You add already, right? Then finish it all. So you can see when link up, they show that they're connected. Okay, so this is called zoning. So far so good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now next one, of course it says here X space to the zone which is quite straightforward I show you just now All right, yeah. So it says only select the interior. That means the color That means you select the space Then of course you can enter the name for the data Because if you click the name zone you might not know what type of zone is that All right, where's the zone? Image data. Let me see, where is it? See, the name is here. Currently now it's called 2 All right, you can give a proper naming. So what zone is that?
Short one.
If you follow the notes, this guy just simply says 2 dash wash area B, whatever. If this is your own building, you decide see what you want. Okay. Of course, let's say when we take as a whole, you break down as a zone. This aircon zone is supposed to only here Agree? Then this area supposed to on its own zone. So actually I should not link them together. This is 2 separate zones on its own. This is 1 zone on its own. So if you need to edit, you got to remove separate zone. So edit zone, you got to remove the space. So this one remove, this one remove. This is have its own zone. So done. This is 1 zone on its own. So maybe you can this is west, right? This is your south, this is your north. There's no east. So select this, give a name. This is your, since you say 2 means maybe you call level 2, L2, west, then what? Area A, B or not, I don't care Just maybe west. I don't know what the system they call area B west what? West zone? Maybe, yeah. You think how you guys want to label it Then here, it doesn't have a zone, right? So you zone 1, 2, then finish. If without finish, change the name first also can. So this is actually level 2 also. Underscore, this is your south because it's facing the south. Called zona that way lah. Okay. So finish it. So you have one zone here, two zone here. All right. Questions? So this for
No,
the
sir.
zoning. Yeah. Now after that, you scroll down. This is on your page 12. You see information need to define properly here, which is here. See? Because if you talk about cooling, you calculate as a whole building, not just this few block, because it's overall. All right. So this information, analyze heating and cooling load. Where can I get this? Okay, so it's actually here. See that? Oh, so you select. This is the information that you see. This is what I tag. So by right, normally you should tag the whole floor lah, or the whole building lah. But because we only do partial of it only. So building is what? It's not office, right? This is a school. So you select this. This is actually a university, right? It's not wrong. See, school or university. Location default. This is in Boston, MA lah. So I don't want lah. Let's change to Singapore lah. Okay, because ours here we don't need heating, but we need cooling. Right? Heating, I don't think Singapore we need heating. So I'm going to change this to Singapore. Singapore. Search. Okay. Unless you want to be specific area, like if not just take a Singapore area, because different areas zoning cooling rate is different. Because it's central, maybe this area is cooler. Well, now it's quite good. You can see information. Yeah, so it's like partial Singapore zone now. Cloudy. See not? I didn't know nowadays it's so smart. I don't see this previously. Only see location, but now I can see all these so-called weather forecast. Quite interesting. So I click OK. Singapore. Ground plane, first story, of course. Not because you are measuring second story. It's because that which is your base level. So first story is my first, base level, or they call it ground plane. Then other information depends on whether this is a new construction. I mean, this building is it an add-on or is it a new build? New build is called new constructions. All right. See, you can choose existing. Because if existing, you got to tag the info from the existing building. So this so-called your extension or expansion. Here, this one I'm not very sure because this is more on the so-called space calculation on the so-called cover lah. So I presume this one should be identical. So I'm not actually know what's the value unless you guys got any info that from Singapore way to measure for the cooling. If not, I will just leave it as the standards. Now, building envelope. This one here, use function parameter. Envelope, what's the meaning of this? Anyone knows what's the meaning of this? If I see from here is like when you cooling aircon, because your wall does breathe, right? Air and so on. So the material will take into consideration. All right. So I don't know what here based on exterior element or use function parameter. So let's try default first. Building services, meaning what type of aircon system you are using it. So since we are using so-called those air terminal. Air terminal normally is not fan coil. Now the olden days we call this a cooling heat pump. This is the one, water loop heat pump. At least the 2020 version they have this. When I try on the 19, 17, 18, I can't find this. This tutorial here actually you can see in your notes is water heat pump. See that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That means it's like BCA lah. The water cooling tower is somewhere, so you can see the piping coming down. There's a chill water and there's a return water. So it's called select water loop heat pump. There's a so-called name for it lah. So I'm selecting this. So building schematic in your notes is just say building. So if you compare the two notes, this is the 2010, this is 2021. So in other words, over the years they improve. So means they are improvised on the MVP side, more towards the industrial. People comment, hey, you got to do this for calculation. Of course, you got to update. That's why I can see that a lot of system here compared to the old version, you don't see much of the info here. No, very minimum. So if you want to do aircon calculation for your room, like just now you using the what do you call that, the standalone. Standalone I would say is not here unless you say split system. All right, so split system hours, I think we Singapore, do we use mechanical ventilation? Means we have a exhaust fan kind of thing. We know, right? Ours is to be natural ventilation, right? Because you open your window, the air come in already. Correct. So I don't know. You guys may want to take a look, think about it. Okay, let me move the notes one side. Hey, where's the notes? So that I can explain. Hey, where's my note? Am I here? Here. Okay, so I put it aside. So this one heat pump. So building infiltration class. So what type of setting you want to set up? Here they call silver space tolerance is put 300. 304, I think not much kind of deep lah. It's all kind of inch conversion, I think. All right, so building class here, infiltration. Building class filtration, I think is more on whether it's like more all concrete or mixture of glass and concrete, or some is natural like so-called concrete opening only. That's why I say loose, medium, or tight. I don't think building here we use airtight lah. Let's not say airtight, sorry, tight. Maybe I take as medium. All right, because the building is not fully solid, but we will see from here, it's like fully solid. It's tight. Why? You don't see any ventilation, right? It's all covered. See, this building is all sealed. Only in between there is some window here, but I don't know whether it's open or not. If you have aircon, I don't think it's open. Especially winter, you'll be freeze to death. So here you may want to choose medium or tight. Report standards or detail or simple. It means later the list come out, how the data to be extracted. Or give it a try. Let's try detail and see what they report. Use load credit. This one I'm not very sure, so I can't do anything. Now there's one part based on the note. It says what export complexity. So this one I believe should be here called building infiltration class. So they change it the terms. All right. Yeah. Last time it's called simple with shading. That means there's tree around lah, surrounding plantation got tree. So there's some shading. Yeah. So that means you are building a aircon in the desert area. There's no shading, right? Okay. So this is how the things is here. So done ready. You'll see that save setting. Straight away can go calculate, but I don't know click calculate yet. So here is straight away to do calculation. If we click calculate, what's the next step? They straight do calculation, but my data is not fully created yet. That's the reason why I don't pick this. See, now the data is out, which I don't like lah. Why? I never set the outdoor indoor cooling temperature. Here is straight away is you define a quick one, then you calculate. That is, but this provided other information has been in place. All right, so I'm going to ignore this because you can based on the tuning and start to change, and you can do multiple reports. Then from the room requirement, you understand what is the loading capacity. So from there, then you can actually determine our so-called planner, what is the cooling required. That means how many air terminal, what's the flow rate. You see? So this one detail will come later, but just explain what I'm actually showing you guys. So here, if you want to have a full data added, it's not straight from calculation. This is when I will say that the individual room data has been set up, the requirement. This is a library. What is the coding rate for library you require? And what instruction, what is the coding required for this? Again, full data can be created from one of the tools here called, hold on, create energy model, no. Location, where is it? I always forget one. Energy setting, sorry, this one here. Okay, energy setting. So ground plane, fuel constructions, space, 300 parameter zone. Okay, all these you can set. Now, other option edit is where the heating, cooling information here. You see? See now. So detail model. All right. School default HVAC system. I don't want this. See, now it's different. Now look at it. The cooling system. It don't show you water cool and so on. See or not? So it's water cool is which one? Heating. Electric resistant heat, chiller, heat pump, boiler, thermal heat pump. See, under floor air distribution. This from the ground. This is not residential, so you can see that certain so-called packaging you can't find from here. See or not?
Yeah.
That's why I say heating, cooling, we can calculate from there. But as a whole system for the school, don't know. Because I don't know what's the term they mentioned here. Okay, so I leave it lah. Don't care first. Outdoor air information. See this? Just now we didn't input all this information. Look at it or not? So outdoor air per person, then how the air change. So you can define how you want this to be a so-called setup. Okay, I'll leave it standard because we don't have the information on this. Spaces, yes. Why spaces? Because you based on space to calculate, see not export category. So this is your spaces. Conceptual type, edit. Now, if this is not a conceptual model, then you can choose. Why? Because every wall, what are the information? You can see this guy mostly is a lot of those facade wall. That means are glasses. So you can change the information here. Got insulation, no insulation, see or not? So actual calculation, there's a lot of things we need to consider. So engineer got to take note. So all this information actually get from where? Get from Archi and construction. That's why I say when you do MAP, you must have these two models. Okay, understand that?
Sir.
Oh, so now I think we leave it because here they don't show me any glass or other stuff. Start glazing, double glass panel. Okay, I think I leave it first. Then building schematic type. What is that? This is when something you wish to override. See or not? You can change other information and you override the default. So actually you can customize. All right, so this is a schematic type. Lastly, detail element, I think I don't need that. So I pick okay. And okay. Now, this thing we set. Now the next thing here will be interesting one. That is, you need to customize each individual room use. So if I'm going to select the space, not the zone, the space for library. So I click this library. Let me take out this first. You notice one thing here, since it's the library. So library, how the people, we don't gather around all like as a big group. Normally it's more like scattered. So another word means, if you select the space, look at all these area supplies and calculation here. See this? This is the space that calculation based on what has been customized here. All right. So this value will change according what you have create. So scroll down under energy analysis. You got to tell them what is this. Now we have a plenum, right? Remember? Okay, unless you calculate things inside the plenum lah. But now is calculate the one is occupiable. Occupiable means what? From the floor to 2.6, that is the empty space the air going to supply. This one, unless you want to cool the plenum zone inside lah, which is maybe 800 plus that volume. That's why I can see below human is cool, on top normally it's quite humid because your AHU is inside handling. So need to be ventilated also. All right. If not, a lot of when it hits certain temperature, I think a lot of insects, mice, all these things will like to stay there. Warmer, correct or not? So condition is heating, cooling, space side of this thing, or we already created because all this information they actually extract from just now the energy setting. Here is the people that you need to configure. So you want to configure, for instance, I don't know based on the value. Let's say occupancy, under based on specified. So this one normally, can you estimate the library can accommodate how many people? Sometimes they can expect that, but library there's always a fluctuation. So it's quite difficult to expect. Oh, today this aircon going to cool 20 people, or today going to create. Now we have pandemic. Maybe can only cool 4 person. Only 4 person can allow to enter the library. Let's say for instance. So this is not what we want. So to be accurate, you can base on this. If you want to cool a person, right? Then we have an area to calculate. Since we are pandemic, right? So persons stand one by one, close to one another, we have 1 meter distancing. So 1 meter distancing means what? The person coverage. All right. If the closest together, let's say 4 person, 2 person, 2 person at least you need to have 2 meter times 2 meter. So 4 meters square. Correct. 1 person is 1 person cover itself. So 1 meter is 1 meter square. Correct. But normal circumstances, if you are in the loan in the library, normally the coverage is wider than that. Agree? Only when you go with a group of friends and things will be closer to you. So this one you got to think how you want to calculate that. Then the heat gain. Now, heat gain means we give out heat. So roughly you need to know what is the heat temperature. So based on the note, all right, here they say, hey, the aircon cooling area they want your a person is 15 square meter. That means it's quite big. All right, quite big. Then the sensible is 60 watt and 45, which is you may want to follow because as I said, we don't have the actual measurement on the heat requirement for person unless you want to take your heat temperature yourself. Oops. Okay, there you can input. So 4 meter, I think is quite close to one another, 4 meters square. All right, so let's try 50 meters as what they say. I'd like to explore. Okay, let's try. So you can see that only 7 person can enter this, which is quite reasonable because this is a small room. Not like a National Library, which is quite big. So sometimes you could think that way. So done, fine. Next one is the electrical loading. So electrical loading means you could think that, oh, remember you guys do lighting?
Yeah.
How many light you added? Can remember the watt, the loading, a lot, right? So you got to think, I think 7, around 21, right? If not wrong. So you may want to specify the loading. So by load, so per lamp is what is the watt? I think 50 watt, right? 50 lux, right? So if 15 and the 4 feet one, I don't know, maybe 30. Then from there you can actually calculate lah. So depends what's the loading lor. You get me? But of course, library, sometimes we might not insert the kind of fluorescent tube. Why? Library, they want ambience. Ambient means what? They will actually, what do you call that?
The temperature of the light.
Yeah, the atmosphere lah, here and
Yeah,
there.
the color temperature.
So this is provided you know lah. But if let's say we don't know, right? Then we say actual lah. Actual means what? The system will detect your library family we inserted, because all these lighting feature with data ma, remember? You have bulk, you have the loading ma, so it will be calculated based on that. All right. And of course the power here, I think now we don't have anything that we can specify because it's not our drawing. This is just a sample car. Yeah, so just actual lah. Oh, so done. Then other thing that's needed or not, school, all these things we set already. So just now it mentioned about the space energy analysis heating information, the temperature that required. Okay. So temperature required, I think here never ask us to set, right? It's only the cooling load is this, and that is the load. We never specify much of it. Let me see, have it. Yeah, all don't have yet. Okay, let's say this one set. The rest you can set also. Then you can, now we only configure this. Let's try the heating calculations. You will calculate 5, but we take note of the room that is the library, which is 219. Save setting. Hey, I thought you continue to let me calculate. So calculate. Since I do the second report, so this one will be more accurate than the first one. So here report shown here, there's 1 and 2. So be careful which one is the one you want. So this one, if you don't need it or wrong, can be deleted. But engineer do this report is what is to fine tuning. So sometimes when they generate, they need to see a lot of information. So okay, second story. Look at the loading for your aircon, which is here. See this? Computer lab 209. Where is our library? Is the library shown here? Library. Okay, library here. See, library cooling. You see, cooling is actually this one. Cooling airflow is 718. All right, 78.2. So it's 78.2. You notice that our plenum, we have plenum. Okay, plenum is here. Now, plenum annotation. Scroll down your notes inside to this part here, which is you can create the embedded airflow. This one we done that, right? Did we? We didn't,
No.
You want to create if you want. But I would like to add in also that is the air terminal, which is you can group them as per individual room, which is called the embedded. So I'll follow through this because some of the info that we done that. It just said now we're to fine tune attach correctly. So we will base on this, and which is actually here. Create a schedule to do the calculation. We have time, we'll do that because initially we don't have because this today supposed to take test, remember? I mean previously but now it's good that we know it, so we can start to create this. So I'll take this annotation here, go to your schedule. See, so long never do this, I forget already. So I gotta rely on the notes a lot for this case. So calculation is still like your electrical, you gotta base on space to compute. So space is here. Oh, ayo, why I click so fast? Cancel first. My hand just double click the thing. Look for space. Then the name here is your space airflow schedule. So yeah, if without the calculation, the airflow not be accurate. Remember just now I say 718.2 from your report. All right. So later you could make sure you choose the correct report. So based on building component, all right, new construction, you click OK. Then filter, see what's the loading that they require. So here, what did they mention? They want to double click the level because every floor differently, since we are doing on level 2 only. So level, followed by the name and number. That means whether it's a library or room 219. Yeah, so name and name, number, all right, followed by calculated supply airflow. So just now in our report 2, right, calculated supply airflow is what we want. All right, then we want to have the actual supply airflow. So actual supply airflow. So that's 2. Calculated and actual. So far so good.
So,
Then of course you can create formula lah. Right on. So formula is this one, calculated parameter. So it's actually here like that. Name we call it airflow delta. That time we call lighting delta, right? Remember delta means difference. So formula here should be under HVAC. Yeah. Then the flow type is airflow. Now you select formula. Which one? The actual, is it? No. They want us
Calculated
to
minus.
calculated minus actual.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Calculated negative straight away. Then add again. Actual. Once you pick OK, the space automatically added for you. So no need not to worry. Unless you want to play safe, you want to, sorry, you can add it. You take a look. They auto add the space for you. All right. So this part actually done already. Sorting, all these things come later. Important here is the format. Why? Format here actually you are doing sorting by the information, which is how you want to do sorting. All right, this one I'll come later lah. Format here is below is when you create the information. I'm not talking about the formula. So select airflow delta. Am I going too fast now? Because my worry is the recording time lah. To exit. I hate that. I think I better follow lah. So sorting was actually they want to sorting by level, then sorting by number. Yeah. Okay. So it asks us to select ascending order, heating and blank. Okay. Then after that, the format, they want to select the airflow delta. Alignment, I set this at the center, but you must select your conditional format. It's where you create the formula. So airflow delta, this one should be the not between. So the plus minus is like minus 12 liter per second, the flow rate. This one is plus. Actually, I might not know what is the actual value, but since the notes give us this, I just follow. Color, you guys got any idea what is the actual so-called requirement? So-called a plus minus, because it's always adjustment. Okay.
No. We have no idea.
No idea. Okay, then it's okay. No problem. Because you see, I'm also not no idea on all this also. So since I given some data set for us to follow, then just follow lah. So done already, you pick OK. All right, you see the data 718. See or not, the calculated. Now we are actually oversupply. See that?
Yeah.
So scary, right? That means it's very cold.
So you just need to remove, right? Like that.
Remove or not is secondary, but the thing is we could change the flow per second, the flow rate. So how to change? You don't want to say, hey Bernard, go to the planner, then start to change the value, blah blah blah. No need. This is what I'm going to show you next. Okay, report we close those things that are not required. Plan. This is your plenum. No, I want to go to our plenum annotation so we can set our information there. Which is the plenum annotation? Hey, sorry. This one. So the rest we can close it. Space, close it. This space, close it. Okay, I'll put this side by side, WT, so you can see clearer this way. And later you see the data attachment. So every room you can engineer can see all this and start to adjust to suit the so-called to match the supply required. So in your notes here, this part which is already done. The interesting one is this the one that we're going to do. Okay, this for non-host, I don't care. This means on other level. Is this one here. You guys need to learn or memorize this. How to create an embedded schedule and based on their system cooling. Like maybe they're using ACMV or they're using water cool like what we are using now. So you can have different type of system so you can customize that accordingly. Okay, so this one here is at your page 17. All right, now how to create this? Let me move this aside. So to create an embedded schedule, you simply go to your schedule quantity, or if not this existing that you're seeing it. Where can I find this embedded? All right, embedded you can see is here. Look at it. If you are not sure just now, you create a new means some user might just select a plan, then you recreate a new schedule. This is wrong. This is you are creating another new one. Embedded means you got to create something add to the existing. So you need to highlight the existing one first. Then after that, embedded schedule, select edit. Can?
Can, sir.
So we check this. After that, see what's the information required. So they want us to select the air terminal, which is air terminal is there. So enable properties. All right, which is you can see what they want us to add. Air terminal, right? Correct enough. Then the field we want is a system type. So system type is here. So sometimes system type, if we never specify, it will not appear. But I think we have, right? We select what water, heat, cooling, right? Remember? The other one, I think what else? Type, mark, and flow. So type. Then mark is a quantity count. So at least you know which is which. Where's my mark? Mark and mark. Then the last one is your flow rate, which is your air flow lah. Flow. Okay, so all these I think mark. Okay lah, leave it. What else is required? I don't think they says anything, right? Okay. So after that, tile the window space, blah blah blah. The one is when you make changes lah. If I pick OK now, let's see what happened. And OK. See that?
Yeah.
So return supply. All right. Then you maybe want to have a space lah, breakout, whatever, or individual space. You add a space for in between now. Okay, because I never add individual space ones. So if don't have, you can see these two levels is here overlapping. All right. If we add a space, let's say group sorting. Level blank line space, individual, we didn't create a blank line space. Here we don't have. Hold on. Embedded schedule. Can we define any space? Sorting by system type. Let's say header space, itemize. Okay, at least you can do that. I was thinking is this one can stick to 19. Then the rest is split up. So individual here, sorting by level, because it belongs to same level. We can't have a space from there. Number, if you want a space, let's see what happens. Okay, I want this. See that? So next time they belong to each individual group. Then you can color code it. All right, you can set color code if you wanna. I think it's here, right? Stripe row. See? Stripe row. What else required? Okay, I think more or less there already. Because the rest is just like you plan, then you start to draw the thing in and so on. Okay, so this part I'm not going to talk about. So customize all this part done already. Then now to supply this the same, because 718.2 ma. So since it's library, I assume that they are identical, the supply. So I pick one of them, right click, select all instances. Okay, calculate for me 718.2 divided by 6. What should be the flow rate here? Maybe take as 710 lah, make it easier. Or 712, I don't know, up to you. Since there's a plus minus ma. So what's the value? Unless you want, you can select individual, because due to the complaint, say a certain area is cold, certain area is warm. So you could set up. But meantime, anyone calculating now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Again, 710 time.
718.2 divided by 6.
119.7.
119.7.
Okay, let's take it 118 lah, plus minus. You see now? So for start, we assume that they are same. We must give them tolerance. Because end of the day, if really go to site manager, when this thing is up, they're going to do testing, right? They're going to run it. Normally, they measure, hopefully it's the same. If not, they got to fine tune the vent inside your air terminal. Open, close, set the valve. Not the valve, right? They call it actually more the vent, right? Yeah. Okay. So that's why I say, if you do it on the open space, no need to do calculation. But it's just that we need to know what is the requirement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then engineer comes in ready, become what? Individual change, no? Then you see they could compensate one another, ma. All right. Any questions so far?
Nope.
So this is the mechanical calculation method. That's why I say some data we don't have so-called actual building data information. If have, what is the material they use, all those things then it's even accurate. Because BIM, if you have all this information, it's easy to process and it's better that way. It's just that my head is, when you do the energy setting, right? This part here, this is actually more on conceptual. I would say not really care lah, but important thing here is what is a system. I think Singapore, most of it industrial building, they're using water loop which is, like school, same thing. There's a cooling tower, so the supply is there. So this is the one. Luckily, we have this information here If not, we're gonna cry, man. Based on the energy setting, it's not accurate. All right. So at least we base on this, and we calculate more on a room, and we define this room. So this room data is quite accurate. The rest because we haven't defined. So you can see that all this loading can be keep repeating and calculate. Question?
ACH also can calculate.
Hmm?
The ACH also can calculate.
So, sorry again.
The ACH, we can calculate that, I think.
Which one?
The air exchange for the individual room.
Because just now here the space I can't set. You realize that? Last time the old version I can set the changes. You hold on, let me open up the space one. Previously, the old version they give us 2 areas to define. That means the hot air and the cold air, which is now if I select my space, you see, they go by the loading, but the value inside I can't change. The older version I play with, when I go to the energy setting, all right, from here, other options, you notice that the information here, like outdoor air, last time got 2 row. Now you can see there's only 1, unless you want to enable this law. This is more on air change, not the incoming air. What's the temperature outside for Singapore? Lately it's 34 to 36. So you can base on that to compute, during the hot days and the cool air. So what's our requirement? But I realize that the new one that they keep updating this, a lot of information we can't change anymore.
I think if you set the location when they include the temperature.
I mean, if they become that intelligent, it would be best law. Maybe.
Yeah.
No wonder I see all the coding thing, right? Which is last time I don't get to see that one at COSD. When you go to the calculation, only just the location. But you can see the sun and cloud, the temperature. I think maybe they're smart enough nowadays.
Yeah, because they got all the data already.
Yeah. Also good law, make it easier lah. Thanks, yeah. Okay lah. Then in that case, then I would say that should be quite accurate. No wonder the setting no longer available. This one I don't see anymore. Right? Yeah, you see? No anymore. Last time you click this, there's below to set the temperature yourself. Which is now I think no need lah. Detail? Oh, it does lah, monkey, my bad. See, I keep seeing this, I forget to see this detail. You realize it?
Yeah.
I forget about this. Alamak. See, so engrossed with that. My bad. Library. Now see here. Building. People, they extract data from their lighting. Also no temperature. I thought it have. What is this? Highlight. Isolate. Analytical surface. Hold on. So it's telling which one is wall. So, okay. These are some information that's here. Okay, don't have. I thought it still have. Yeah, that means here you can still last minute change lah. If you never customize here. See that means individual room you can still configure from here. All right. Okay, so that's good.
The ACH we got the data also, so we can enter according to
Where is it?
Like it's from our other notes, other subjects.
Oh, but here can configure.
I think air conditioning, right? We calculate by area.
Okay, so is it not by people lah? Area correct lah. So this one lah.
Yeah, people also can. People is when you know area, I think. Yeah.
Yeah lah. This is automatically based on the room area by default lah.
Yeah, then correct. Yeah.
Okay lah. Then the power one actually we don't know lah. The loading because it's not localized. The voltage is different. Yeah. So okay lah. So I think more or less is the default rate lah. So I don't want to change anymore because I didn't change anything. Okay lah. So because so long so many versions I didn't do that already. So a lot of changes I didn't really go in. So that's it lah. Okay, let me stop the recording.